Hello, and this is Lavistro, the Dragon of Cyberspace, coming to you with all news, tips, and tricks within the gaming spectrum. Excuse the fairy there. But, it's very rare I get to cover investigative pieces. I think the last one I did was about John De La Rose, and I went in autistic detail about it. But now I'm going to cover something that happened over the span of a few months and blew up this past weekend. And if you are on Twitter, you might know who I exactly mean. But wait, I thought you said you cover games, Lavistro. Yes, I do. And this is gaming news. That being said, the individual I'm talking about is Kirche. And I'm pretty sure there are some Kirche simps that are going to come over here and say, that's not how you pronounce Kirche. You don't watch her content. We'll get into that, but so you know, yes, I called you a simp, and you're probably mad I called you a simp. But hear me out. This is not an anti-Kirche speech. This is not a pro-cancel speech at all. This is covering the news. And yes, I do tend to mispronounce people's names I've never heard or spoke about before, even though I watch their content. Yes, that being said, the news says that VTuber Kirche goes viral for seemingly defending Shiloh Hendricks' fundraiser after latter reported calls a child the N-word. That could be better written, but let's continue. So y'all know, this is Kirche, the VTuber, the anime girl there, and that's not Kirche. That's Shiloh Hendricks. A clip from VTuber Kirche's Twitter and YouTube stream from May 3rd has garnered a lot of attention on social media after the streamer seemingly defended Shiloh Hendricks' fundraiser. During her stream, Kirche was reacting to a specific post by ex-user Bostinians Against Mayor Wu when she gave her remarks about Shiloh Hendricks' fundraiser online. The VTuber called out the social media user, calling them hypocritical for wanting to shut down the charity drive because the same platform allowed Carmelo Anthony fundraiser. She stated that they shouldn't shut down Hendricks' campaign, reasoning that the Minnesota residents' actions were much less serious than Anthony's, who raised $500K for a similar fundraising campaign on Give and Go after being charged in the case of Austin Medical stabbing. She said, Bostinians Against Mayor Wu unfortunately seems like a giga cuck. The fact that you can raise money for calling a 5-year-old the N-word is insane. Hope they shut down her campaign. They shouldn't. They didn't shut down Carmelo Anthony's campaign, so getting mad at this just outs you as a very hypocritical person. For those unaware, Shiloh Hendricks, a woman from Rochester, Minnesota, made headlines after allegedly calling a 5-year-old child the N-word during a disagreement at a public park. A video filmed by a man who confronted her at the time went viral on the internet. Shiloh Hendricks started a fundraiser on May 2nd, asking for assistance to relocate, claiming her family had been threatened since the video was released. VTuber Kirche compares Shiloh Hendricks' controversy to George Floyd and Carmelo Anthony incidents, calls it the consequences of where we are now. Kirche calls out the ex-user Anti-Wu Coalition for asking followers to donate to them instead of Shiloh Hendricks. She went on to read the ex-user's bio and insinuated they were racist against white people for opposing Shiloh Hendricks. No racism, no hate unless it's against white people, I guess. And that's the thing. It's a lot of these cancel people are only canceling people who make money. Kirche has money. She has a business deal. She has sponsorships, and they don't like her success. If she was, let's say, a less than 500 following on YouTube as a dragon, they're not going to care, even though that dragon says he's a sexist, misogynistic dragon. And he's psychotic. Because that's literally what people call me, and I just kept it as my crown. But I digress. Let's go ahead and watch the thing. You see the timestamp is at 2 hours, 57 minutes, 10 seconds. I went ahead and went to 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 43 seconds to give some more context to the situation.
You to understand that this give, send, go represents exactly where our country is right now. We've never held...
How come this give, send, go represents where our country is, but the comments on the Carmelo Anthony one literally saying that they hate white people and that they're going to send their blessings to Carmelo to get out of any kind of repercussions for murdering someone, allegedly. How is that not indicative of where we are as a country? Why is that not an indication, but this is?
Yes, that's a good question. Why is it that we will say that words that you and I probably both agree are horrendous and should not be said, and that woman clearly said a racial slur, is more horrific than a loss of human life? You can't get back that life. You can't raise the dead. But we're gonna cry over N-word, but not be outraged over the death of an innocent that they even admitted to doing. Just, that's her context. We're going to be outraged about that, but we're not going to be outraged about the loss of life from actual murder, actual illegal acts.
That seems a little hypocritical, right? Like it would be both, would it not?
White supremacy accountable. White people have been screaming that racism is a thing of the past forever. And this right here shows us exactly where we are. Like watermarks on a ship. This is where we are. And it will get worse before it gets better.
I wonder how many of these people would agree with the comments on the Carmelo Anthony one because they believe that you cannot be racist towards white people. And so denigrating white people and saying that they're not even human is just like an okay thing to do. I kind of wonder. And let's see, what else do I have here? I have this account that I had been using to keep up with stuff in Boston. The Bostonians against Mayor Wu unfortunately seems like a giga cuck. The fact that you can...
Yes, this is where the clip starts. We're 6 seconds into where they said that she starts talking about the alleged controversy.
Raise money for calling a 5-year-old the N-word is insane. Hope they shut down her campaign. They shouldn't. They didn't shut down Carmelo Anthony's campaign. So getting mad at this just outs you as like a very hypocritical person. No racism, no hate. No racism, no hate. Unless it's against white people, I guess. Instead of donating to a trailer trash racist, you can donate to me instead. What a little weasel. What a little weasel freak, actually. How in the name of Baby Moses on Fire did we go from the loving society of the 90s to the fucking mess in 2025? That's some chutzpah. A lot of people are just like unfollowed. That's an unfollow from me. Bostonian guy said, oh no, what am I going to do without followers that think it's okay to call a 5-year-old the N-word? I don't think most people think it's okay. I think there are a lot of people who are tired of things happening, like Daniel Penny, like the whole George Floyd incident and the Summer of Love, like the Carmelo Anthony. There's just a lot of people tired of the two-tier justice system, and they start saying some crazy things and doing some crazy things. That doesn't make it okay, but it's like, that's just kind of the consequence of where we're at now, unfortunately. And there are some people who are like accelerationists that are like, the pendulum is going to swing back so far it's going to break off. And I hope that's not true. I don't want to see that happening. I don't like seeing this kind of like violence towards other people. Like, not that words are violence, right? But there are people advocating for violence on both sides. And I don't like seeing that. Nature be...
There. So you see, she doesn't advocate violence. She's not condoning this behavior. She's making an observation from her own reasoning and logic and knowledge of the situation. That being said, yes, I too am tired of politics. I mean, she's obviously covering politics, but I'm tired of politics because to me, left and right, they're all the same. They are the left of me because I don't see left and right the way people see things. I see left and right as anarchy's on the right and totalitarianism's on the left. And the parties, left and right, conservatives, the GOP, the DNC, leftists, libertarians. They're all the same thing, different names. Best analogy I can come up with is they are all sodas with different names. Coke, Pepsi, RC, you name it. Too much is not a good thing for you. It'll rot your brain, it'll rot your teeth. Right? Same with politics. Moving on. Lavistro acknowledged that most people do not support using racial slurs against children, but went on to compare Charlotte Hendricks' controversy to past events like George Floyd and Carmelo Anthony, stating, Bostonian guy said, oh no, what am I going to do with the follower who thinks it's okay to call the 5-year-old an N-word? I don't think most people think it's okay. I think there's a lot of people who are tired of things happening, like Daniel Penny, the whole George Floyd incident, and the Summer of Love. For context, Carmelo Anthony is accused of stabbing Austin Metcalf on April 2nd. Anthony's family started a fundraiser on Give, to help them navigate the many challenges surrounding Carmelo's case, as per the description of the website. While talking about the Hendricks' fundraiser, Kirche compared it to. The streamer then claimed that people are tired of the two-tier justice system and seems to insinuate that Shiloh Hendricks' use of the N-word was just a consequence of where we are now. There are a lot of people tired of the two-tier justice system, and they say some crazy things and do some crazy things. That doesn't make it okay. It's just the consequence of where we are now, unfortunately. The clip from Kirche's broadcast shared by Invented on X, May 3rd, 2025, has gone viral, garnering over 2 million impressions within 2 days later. On his stream, Kirche called out both sides for advocating violence against people. Says, I don't like seeing this kind of violence against other people. Not that words are violence, but there are people advocating for violence on both sides, and I don't like seeing that. And yes, I fought in a war because both sides wanted to fight a war. But they didn't want to take responsibility, so they didn't vote for it per the Constitution. So they created an act, and then they blame each other for why that war is going on. So they can keep their comfy little offices. Much like a corporation likes money. Continuing on, there's a Vice article here, April 21st, that also says, this is why why is this GameStop's veto pushing a great replacement theory? Kirche Versal, one of her fans, is a bona fide Nazi. Now, the writer was Ans Valens, and that's who this person is. Alright. Daily Dot, Fanbyte, Polygon. Oh, Polygon. By Polygon. Dot Sports, and Mary Sue. It is a veteran of the game journalism industry, and one of its published features is written in Waypoint 2016, discussing VA11, Hall A, and sex work. And it has continued to report on gaming culture issues, including queer and trans representation in video games. A core focus of its career has been adult content. Her book, Tumblr Porn, discusses the rise and fall of titular social media websites. Now, that being said, shout out to Madam Savvy here. She's responding to Crime Boss, the people who canceled Kirche, who Kirche loved her game and was supporting actively for so long. And we're going to get into that here soon. But she goes, in the interest of transparency, did you really drop the only person passionate promoting your game over a blog post written by someone who chose her name to sound like an anal violence and violent rape, fantasies targeting at abused women and reducing them to nothing but breed farm for a specific demographic? Because I find the timing very odd in this. And yes, I'm going to be editing this, and so you won't be hearing certain words. But that's Anna, and it said this.
In the future, there are a number of institutions that emerge. If you are a trans girl, or if you are trans feminine, you can go ahead and sign up for a reservation slot to an all-day access to one of many breeding facilities, where you get to breed the shit out of that cis girl. You can absolutely devastate that shit, fucking destroy it. It's done. Like, they have to cycle the girls out because that is absolutely out of commission. And now we have breeding saunas, we have breeding bookstores, breeding movie theaters. Those are really nice. You have breeding adult schools. You have breeding esports arenas. Very fun. This is something we're building. This is the future. This is what TERFs don't want. They understand that we're trying to build these breeding facilities. And it's really important for you to fund your local trans girl top who is absolutely destroying that good pussy right now. Like, you need to give her the funds because she is the future, you know. But in the future that I want is I just want to live in a world where you can walk down the street and you don't even have to worry about whether you're going to be able to breed that good fucking. That's not a tall ask. And I think that's the future for all of us, is just destroying that wherever you go, whenever you go.
Yes, you could find the actual thing from Adam Thabby online for the uncensored version. I'm thinking about my channel here in YouTube, but it's very vulgar. But Anna Valens says GameStuff is pretty much unambiguous in VTubing, owned by popular online content creator Jess Galt. GameStuff advertises itself as the most effective, high-energy choice for gamers and esports talent alike. Combine campaign with no tropics, then slap on branding marketing towards geeks and gamers, and you got GamerSups. It's a rite of passage for a growing VTuber to gain GamerSups partnership, let alone snag merchandise run via the company's waifu cup line. Nyanners, for example, received her own cup with the company, as did Shy Lily. However, GameStuff is in hot water with many VTuber fans due to the behavior of one particular creator with the company Mythic Talents, Kirche Verstal, the anime fox girl with a knack for sharing alt-right talking points. Kirche has landed herself into controversy after controversy online due to her right-wing beliefs. After this point, it began to question whether GameStuff will one day pull the plug on a VTuber for good. VTuber who believes in right girl. Kirche is recently popular for a VTuber, sporting over 56,000 followers on Twitter and at least 44,400 on Twitch. She originally announced her partnership with GameStuff in September 2023, following a merchandise reveal this past March. From shirts to cups, Kirche fans will soon be able to apply their love for the right-wing fox girl IRL thanks to GamerSups. While most VTubers may wink and nod to conservative beliefs, Kirche has never hidden her political leanings. So hold on, I'm going to point out here that it contradicts itself. While some VTubers may wink or nod, right? So if some VTubers wink or nod, then why are they upset? Why are the fans upset? Because then the fans in droves would support Kirche as well. They wouldn't be upset over her. In fact, she gained a reputation for speaking out on behalf of right-wing side of VTubing fan base. In February, she said trans women, here we go. Here's why it's angry. She said trans women advocating for trans rights are autogenophilic males with graphic murder fantasies. Which, as we heard from its own statements, she's not wrong. It's triggered by this. And for those who don't know, autogenophilic means a guy who fantasizes himself as a woman. Like, he gets sexually aroused, people seeing him as a woman, or him seeing himself as a woman. And there's another one for women who do the same, right? She praised Mythic Talents owner Aspergold for arguing even trans kids are actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness. Gamergate subreddit Kotaku Nash has shared Kirche's work to acclaim calling her base fox, and their post in our YouTube drama declared Kirche the main culprit for alt-right pandering and VTubing. In casual conservation of a GameStuff merchandise, VTuber fans were quick to describe Kirche as right-wing. One Redditor even went to great lengths to stress they were not attempting to take sides. Kirche's concept is simply objectively describing her. To those who have not seen her work, she's alt-right, anti-woke, and apparently transphobic to a degree. She comments on trans women being mentally ill men. None of this is my own info, just restating what others have said, can't confirm or deny this stuff. Alt-right seems like an accurate description of Kirche. Define alt-right. What is alt-right? Alt means an alternative. So, if we're talking about Grand Assembly, there's no up or down. There's just left and right. Because right would be right wing, left wing, right? Where you sit in Grand Assembly. So the alternative to the right would be left. They don't want to say left because that's who they are. Believe it or not. If you mean by the political compass, mind you, the political compass is based on David Nolan's, the founder of the Libertarian Party's political compass. So even that one is bunk. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. But people believe that. For me, I don't subscribe for up or down, left or right, nor center, because my beliefs are different from everyone else's. I may agree with some from the left, I may agree with some from the right, because I'm nonpartisan. I'm a basically classic liberal. And a classic liberal is a conservative in America. An actual classic liberal. So, while I don't like to talk politics, there you go. In one clip, Kirche gives weight to the Great Replacement Theory, a racist conspiracy theory suggesting people of the color are ethnically cleansing white people for the demographic changes in cultural diversity. How is that racist? Let me explain. How's that racist? It might be racist if it's actual people wanting to purge out white people or people of a certain color or racial group, like genocide, on their end. But it's not racist if it's concern of that. It's people actually want to have a conversation. But yeah, we'll go ahead and call it the R word. Sure. In the clip, Kirche argues that the mosque should not be built in northern England, declaring a hostile figure is happening in the US via illegal immigration and for the UK via migrant crisis. Our politicians are assisting these people with those Democrat replacement, as well as just making citizens' lives worse in general. They're changing the entire culture of these countries, Kirche said, essentially implying both the UK and US are intended for white Europeans and Americans respectively. How is that possible? She said, illegals. Are you saying my ex-wife, a Korean, is illegal? No, she came here legally. There are a lot of legal people that come here and share in our culture and even enhance and enrich it. But they don't take it over. That's her point. Is that a lot of people that come in here and master droves unvetted and they try to change the culture, which literally does happen. We're seeing that in real time. It's going to change these countries irreparably in the future. Christianity specifically clear belief in white supremacy and the Great Replacement Theory. Here she's openly stating her belief in politicians in the US are assigning the hostile. This is not a one-off comment. In April, she retreats. They share bent. We'll get to that. But, you know, I'm not going to go through it because it's a spur moment. But, and I don't take Vice News seriously. I mean, almost no one does at this point. I'm surprised they're still around. But, this is Kirche, right? This is Kirche's page. And I want to point out here is that she does have streams for Crime Boss. Kirche does Crime Boss. Crime Boss. As you can see, yep, full thing. I have I've watched her content, and here she's attempts to address the Congress. She's covering some politics. Watch another bit of her content here. Going down, Crime Boss, inauguration, Crime Boss. And she really loves this game. I'm going to tell you that much myself. Now, it's not a game for me, and I have full disclosure. I do not watch a lot of her content, and I have no interest in buying Crime Boss. Never have, never will. I don't do PvP games very much. But here's her statements on what's going on. So, a month into the Life Ruination campaign started by people who hate me, and during a pre-planned vacation where communication access to my home and resources were minimal, in-game studios devs of Crime Boss Rockay City, a game I love and heavily promoted since its release in 2023, dropped their relationship with me. They were swayed by anonymous posts, Reddit users who admit to not watching me, people who lie by omission, and people who strawman all of my stances. And to cap it off, a muckraker from a dying news outlet, with an axe to grind, decided to compile it all into an article with no more integrity than a Tumblr blog they no doubt had. Yeah, she's referring to that Vice News article we just read. This company is not experiencing cancel culture. My audience were paying customers who are voting with their voice and their wallet after a company makes this astronomically poor decision they agree with. These are not review bombs. These are not people who don't own the game brigading and game are experiencing what happens when you capitulate to cancel culture. These two things are not the same. It's incredibly oblivious and obvious, and everyone knows it. You people held the power to ruin others' reputations and finances for years, and we are now standing up for ourselves. Fuck you, fuck cancel culture, and fuck the Darvo. That happens when anyone decides to defend themselves. You reap what you sow. And she's responding to this screenshot here. Cancel culture is eroding in meaning. Instead of being an attempt to deplatform a creator or significantly harm their public image, often unjustly, it is now somehow means a single company choosing not to associate their brand with you after hearing your insane beliefs. And that's the thing. A lot of these people that engage in actual cancel culture, they tend to, as we've seen and know, say some rather disingenuous, let's just say, disingenuous takes. And they'll spin things so they don't look like the baddies. But reality, people are supporting her, and we're gonna go into it. And Kirche, if you are watching this, I don't think you will, but if you are watching this and you want to come on Dragon Cast, you're more than welcome. My DMs on Twitter are open, or you can come on my live streams and just say hi, and we'll work together. But another thing is Brit. This is or Bent. This is the individual that's been tweeting a lot, and what we're going to see is they them pronouns, and it's a rather unhinged individual. This person makes the case why we still need insane asylums. Like, we need to bring them back. Like, the last insane asylum shut down in 2014 here in America. And no, it wasn't outlawed. It's just people disagreed with the ethics over time on insane asylums. And then shortly afterward, people were going crazy. So, I'm going to scroll down this one real quick. People who won't donate money to this nonsense need to be cold. Basically, unalive, let's just say. People who don't watch VTubers kindly correct me, a VTuber fan, about how many VTubers are right-wing. Well, I'm sad. That's another thing. Remember, we pointed out that they said a lot of fans of VTubers are upset. Well, it seems like a lot more VTubers are right-wing. And he's saying, oh, not many VTubers are correcting me on how many VTubers are right-wing. Like, he's trying to say, oh, no, we're not. Right? I'm obviously would be considered right-wing by these people. And he goes in here, Kirche at some level understands the need to do some damage control. Most of our fans don't. They don't have any instincts of possibility strategies. And I'm not going to read all his stuff. Let me just scroll down to I just want to point out is Bent, when you scroll through, he literally has an axe to grind on Kirche. You'll see, like, it's almost stalkerish behavior on certain VTubers he does not like, or it does not like. I'm sorry, I'm not going to use pronouns because you're not two people. You're not three people. You are one person. His obsession with Nazis and framing people he doesn't like as Nazis, your typical thing. But obviously, Kirche lost her partnership, right? With Crime Boss Rockay City. Right? Now, did that work for her or work for them? We're going to find out. This is the year. It goes up on April 7th. On the 7th of April. Plummeted down again. So they saw a spike. The response from these are the QRTs. The responses are mostly negative on it. Like, there's no line here. Like, people are not okay with what they're doing. And I want to point out here though now, finally, Asmongold's response to this.
I think that we need to do collectively as a community, like not just me, but like in general, is that we need to come together and just absolutely, totally, like, if somebody gets taken off of a sponsor because of like something bad that they said, and it's not really bad, it's just like taken out of context, I think that we should absolutely shit on them. Like 100% we should.
I want to point out he's highlighting a tweet from Bent, who's trying to go after Kirche by canceling another sponsor, GamerStups, which we covered in the Vice article.
Because there needs to be a awareness that this type of behavior isn't acceptable in the public anymore. And I think that it's not. And yeah, we need to cancel culture. Yes, and the way that you do that, by the way, like Amber Heard. So I think a really great example of this is like Bud Light. And it's also a lot of gaming companies. Gaming companies now are terrified to do anything because they're worried that people like me might make a video about it and they might totally shit on the game and destroy the game's popularity. I want to say that good. Absolutely. We want you afraid. We want you to not feel like you can do this kind of stuff. And I will continue to use this power as a weapon against the people who have weaponized it against me. And so this is what I will continue to do. I think these people are absolute fucking parasites. They are awful people. And also, beyond everything, they are dishonest. They are lying and they are dishonest. And they're trying to force people into behavior. Concord put the fear of God in them? Yes, exactly. And so whenever any of these things happen and somebody loses a sponsor or they like support somebody like this, I think you should absolutely shit on them as much as you possibly can to make advertisers terrified of making these decisions again. And I think that if you do that, you can stop it from happening. Because keep in mind that the advertisers do not actually care about any of these social issues. They do not care about trans people. They do not care about non-binary people. They do not care about anybody except for money. That's it.
Yes, I've said this many times before, to goose that lays golden eggs. If you watch my content, you'll know I've said this story many times. For those who don't know, there's a goose that lays a golden egg. And a farmer gets a golden egg every morning. Then one day, the farmer decides, if I open up the goose, I can get all the golden eggs at once. And so he opens up the goose, only to find there's nothing there. And that's what's the same with corporations. They don't care about your social identity, your politics, none of that. Full disclosure, the Disney company donates to both Democrats and Republicans. They want a politician in their pocket because they love money. That's what they want, that's what they love, that's what they enjoy. And there's nothing wrong with earning a buck for the fruits of your labor. There's nothing wrong with creating something, growing big and successful for it. It's another thing entirely when you grit and chill off of people's politics, as opposed to give a good product because you want to save a couple of dollars and have more money for yourself, but dishonest and disingenuously. That's a corporation. And yes, you should vote with your wallet. This is Kirche's response as well to it.
So, I completely agree with Asmongold. If you didn't buy the game, please don't leave bad reviews, right? Don't brigade. Only if you bought the game, only if you spent money. Change your review to negative. Send them emails. Tag them on Twitter. Make sure you know that actual paying customers are upset with their decision. Again, don't be rude. Don't be insulting, right? If I see people insulting them, I'm going to be mad at you. I might ban you. I don't know. But I don't want people to, like, insult them. Be cordial, be professional, and let them know that what they're doing is not okay. Capitulating to mobs is not okay.
Yes. Notice how she said if you do a dishonest review, if you review bomb, she's going to ban you. She only wants people who actually played the game and feel like what they did was wrong to her, what they did to her was wrong, to leave a negative review. Now, here's Crime Boss's reviews, and I lost the file with Asmongold reactions to it. But just so you know, yes, this is Crime Boss. Right? I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Crime Boss Rockay City game, Rockay City, right? When I looked at it this weekend, it was mixed, and now it's mostly negative. And we're going to cover that real quick. Pardon me here. Scrolling down. Alright. Overall views mixed. Most recent reviews negative. So, the highest reviews on the opening day, over 1,000 reviews. And now it's becoming mostly negative. Look at this. over 300 reviews in the past few days. In the past 30 days, not recommended, 26 hours on hand. While I like the game, it's like Payday, but I had a lot more fun, but can't give a positive review. I found this game because of a streamer on Twitch and glad she showed it off. Best I can tell, she is the only one that pushed this game, and that matters because the company dropped her over some online drama. I will not support a company that drops their biggest supporter out there out of context hit piece only because it is truly dishonorable action on a developer's part. But if they'll drop the number one advocate, then how long before they start changing the game to appease the same rage posters when it is like content already in the game? Very disappointing that you actively went out of your way to distance yourself from Kirche, despite the fact that you promoted content for free and had a massive impact on your game sales. Very unprofessional behavior. Was that just freed up 80% of my hard drive? I found this game for the VTuber Kirche. Again, 36 hours, 12 hours, 26 hours. The Steam return policy is 2 hours. 127 hours. It was fun while it lasted on a support company that still they before they turned back on someone. So they're referred to Kirche as well. 93 hours on record. This game is fine. It's fun even. The developers just took their biggest support behind the shed and shot her in the back. 4.5 hours on record. The disrespect they showed towards partner Kirche is unbelievable. That they would drop someone who supported and loved their game was so fervently speaks volumes to me, and that a character I will not be supporting them. But in our cinema mind, Kirche was paramount to this game's success. 2 hours on record, literally 2 hours. So I'm kind of questioning Torlock here. It was okay until Instinct Studios. Kirche supporter. 11 hours on record. Game was better day to day. My friends and I had a blast. However, I'll not support this developer. They called cancel campaign. 82 hours on record. If Fox gave you a second chance, good luck with your buggy game. 8 hours on record. None should support this product made by those who vow to character and assassination attacks. 8 hours on record. Attacking someone who promoted your game, man, this crap. 15 hours on record. It is a pretty nice game, unfortunately, but it seems cowardice is a better opinion to supporting ones who spent hours of their life playing the game. It's pretty simple, make a good game. Don't overlook your community, and especially don't screw those who support your game when no one else did. This is what I want to point out here. Swagman, less than an hour, 8.8 hours on record. They kept a artist and a bunch of moral busybodies to root their most popular streamer. The guy, I would argue, literally bought the game and went on there for a little bit, make sure he didn't do a full-on 2-hour passive policy, returned the game, lets a negative review. That's the argument. 77 hours on record. I'm sorry, 774 hours on record. I enjoyed the game for a long time. Been playing since Steam, but I cannot support the developer any longer, as he turned on a streamer who introduced me to the game. Because of an outsized hit piece like Kirche, 20 hours on record. Kirche, 88 hours on record. 0.4 hours, not really good. So I another one that probably just review bombed. Bo J. Rao, 0.3 hours, undisappointed in the developers. 1.4 hours, L. 0.3 hours, taking seeming shit on its community. I can keep going. But my point is like, you see a lot of people who actually play the game honoring Kirche's request and actually leaving a review. And then you got people who are not helping her argument or the argument against cancel culture by going in there because party lines. If you bought this game and you are okay with them canceling streamers who supported them, then go ahead, keep playing the game. But if you find it disgusting that someone can have a different viewpoint or is taken out of context and someone will cave and bow to those bullies, then don't support the game anymore. If you played the game, that's the thing that Kirche said, and that's the thing we need to understand, is we cannot be like the left. We cannot be like freaking partisans and go around and review bomb things just because we don't like what something does. There are better ways to give the voice. You could literally say on Twitter, I'm not going to get this game. I don't support this game. Or like me, for example, I literally said, I do not play this game. I don't play PvP games. But this is a game I will not recommend. This is literally a game I will not recommend. And Dragon Cast. Crime Boss Rockay City will not get a recommendation when we start recommending games for other games for people to play that we found, because there's a lot of bad games out there and people want good games. This would have been something I would have recommended at one point in time, but after what they did, there's a good chance I won't. Moving on, there is literally topics covering Kirche. Right, like, I'm just gonna put that out there. Okay, so, like, for example, Kirche can't be the rock culture, absolutely shameful the way this company has been treated. And so it says, you're talking on behalf of a lot of people who don't share your point of view. They departed from Kirche because she was going to negatively influence sales. She pushes outright talking points. Go join Truth Social if you don't like that. The majority of the world doesn't like your beliefs. And here's the thing, though. People are literally saying that that person is wrong. That the majority of them that are Kirche supporters. But here's their future audience. Played this for free on PS5. It's a bit bigoted. They use the phrase candy ass, which is a gay slur. Also, people of color are shown as characters that wouldn't be out of place in a racist 80s movies. But they ended up sponsoring with certain Vito Premier. They accused of bigotry. They had Trick Norris in the game. He's right-wing homophobe. They need to remove him. This is the new Crime Boss audience. And yes, the guy says he played it on free on PS5. And he says it's bigoted. These people don't play the game. How many of you found this game only due to Kirche? Who did in-game drop Kirche for? This is who they dropped in for over Kirche, who bought several thousand player spike back in April. Yeah, Kirche brought in the player spikes. And as a trans JA who helps steer style guys and implement media alpha killing stories on trans criminals, uploaded this. Yes. And it goes back to this. We're not going to play it. But yes, that is the Kirche controversy. And like I said, this was a very long interview covering a lot of stuff. And now you know, there's a new game that's on the do not recommend list. I will literally be making a list of games I do not recommend it and why. Probably in my Discord for viewers. But since we also have Dragon Cast, we also have games we recommend or games we found interesting for your money, for your wallet. Vote with your wallet. Don't go buy this. Do not go buy this game. Download it. Spend 0.1 hours sitting on the menu. Then remove it. Refund it. And go and say the game sucks. If you had the game and you actually played it past the return policy and you don't like what they did to Kirche, then yes, go leave your negative review. As you see, people were saying the game was great, they liked it, but they can't support someone who cancels one of their biggest supporters and fans. That is how you vote with your wallet. That's how you get rid of cancel culture. Anyways, what do you think, viewers? Put your thoughts and comments below. And as always, happy gaming.
Worlds clash in endless collision. Gaming news with a fierce precision. With a spark so wild it breaks the norm. In the tempest's eye, a cyberstorm. Reclaim gaming and Dragon Cast. Fire breathing wide, screaming loud. Lavistro's here to shake the crowd. Psychotic dragon rain.